Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this Friday morning. Let's get started with weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. Going to have a high today of 83, low tonight 68. Water temperature stays right around 80 degrees, so we're looking good there. Now let's take a look at our tide chart for today. You can see right away we're in neap tides. Not a lot going on. Today's the 23rd, and just flat out not much movement today, and just a very little bit tomorrow. So that's not good there. Marine forecast will be coming out southeast, looks like. But let's go ahead and do our fish and game forecast in this section. We've got two long videos I want to get started on, brought to us by Mark Coward at Edgewater Beach Realty. His number 832-6000. Our times are 8:29 to 10:29 this morning. And this evening, you're going floundering 8:54 to 10:54, okay? The first video, we're going to have Kathy Gwendon, ran her not too long ago, down in Blue Water, had an interview on talking about the tarpon, okay? It's June is big tarpon month around here. And then the second video is going to be fishing with Scott Lindsay up at Carter Track. So you're going to have a great morning of viewing on Panhandle Outdoors. So let's take this break and jump in our videos.
Which is the knot that we use, those knots we use to join braided line or two lines that would make us tie on a reel. Alright? I'm going to undo this. Alright. How many people here love to eat fish? We talked about it. And Jeffrey talked about catching trout, pompanos. Well, I'm going to tell you the one.
All right, folks, here we are today with Kathy Gwendon. Good morning.
Good morning.
Listen, she's been on the show before, Florida Wildlife Research Institute, and she's a tarpon expert. And how long have you been with the FWC?
I've been with the FWC now for 19 years.
Wow.
In about a week from today. It'll be 19
kidding.
years.
Congratulations.
It's a long time.
Well, how did you get over into being a tarpon expert? How did that happen?
Well, I actually started out in fish ecology.
Yeah. And
then I had the opportunity to apply for a job working on Florida pompano, a very famous fish up here in the Panhandle. And when I got done with pompano, I moved into tarpon right away, and I've been studying tarpon now for the last 10, 11 years.
I've heard you do a presentation on it once before down at Apalachicola and all. I'm just fascinated with all the, we think we know a little bit about a tarpon, but so many neat things about it.
Yeah, it's for as big of a fish and as popular as a fishery as tarpon is. It's surprising where we still have a lot of little holes in what we know about the critter. So that's what we're working on. Most of our work is all about the effects of catch and release fishing on tarpon.
Well, even we talked about it in my book, Full Box. Historically, we go way back to the early 1900s about people coming in here catching tarpon. There's always been a tarpon fishery here. Some decades it's more strong than others, but I think recently the tarpon fishing around this area has really been picking up.
I think so too. I don't know if all the locals like that knowledge to get out there,
well,
but there is definitely a lot of tarpon in this area with a very growing fishery. Yes.
Well, I know you talked about the migratory route and how they are up here and all, and you've got different parts of the state where you get a lot of feedback from where y'all tag them and all.
Correct.
And we need to do, I think we talked about this before, we need to do a better job up here in the Panhandle on tagging our tarpon. So tell us some things basically about what about a lifespan of a tarpon and just some basic facts about it.
A tarpon is a very long-lived species.
Okay.
We've actually validated in the wild a fish that has lived 55 years.
Wow.
We have shown from a fish that lived in captivity that they have lived 64 years. And then using some more modern technology and science, using radiometric aging techniques, we estimate them that they can probably live 78 years more or less. So a long time. That
is amazing. And then you talked about, we've seen the route, where they come down the Atlantic or whatever. Then I remember one time we talked about one going halfway across the Atlantic, but it was not on his own, right? So, was that the one the shark had?
Yeah, there's some satellite tagging work that's being done out of the University of Miami.
Yeah.
And he was cruising along really well until he got, like you said, halfway across the Gulf of Mexico, up off the coast of the northern Gulf area, and disappeared.
And then y'all found him where?
Then when the signal reoccurred, it was actually off of the North Atlantic.
The North, that's
Ocean.
amazing, isn't it?
But it was probably a shark responsible for
You
that.
think those are like a bull shark or a great white or something?
I believe they suspected tiger.
Tiger shark.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So if any of y'all getting eaten now, we're gonna start looking for you up in North Atlantic, I guess. But anyway, let's get back to tarpon. I've caught a few, and it's just a spectacular catch and all. And we, of course, we all release them and everything. So,
Yes.
first of all, when they get to this area, how long are they? What's the peak season up here in the Panhandle for tarpon?
Well, once the water temperatures get right, some of the bigger fish will start to move out of the rivers and also migrate into the area. I would say by mid-May, the fish will be here, and the fishery goes all summer long.
Okay.
And so you have a lot of months to
Okay.
fish for tarpon if you know what you're doing.
Okay.
It's a tricky fish to catch.
They're smart.
Yeah.
They're smart. All right, now we're going to talk a little bit about how to identify, how you identify them, and all about how locally we can tag them and all that. So tell us a little bit about this. Is a little replica tarpon. One Scott Lindsay caught one this size one time, but it's not the biggest one he's ever caught. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about that.
Okay, so we need tarpon anglers up here in the Panhandle to really help us tag tarpon. So all you have to do, the first and hardest part, is catching the fish. To get that tarpon boat side, you can just leave it in the water at the side of the boat, because now this is a mandatory catch and release fishery here in the state of Florida. So you just leave the fish at the side of the boat, go in this free kit that's available to anglers to sample their tarpon, take out a piece of the abrasive sponge, lean over, and you can scrape on the outside jaw of the tarpon.
The outside.
Outside.
Okay.
Do not stick your fingers inside the mouth.
Okay.
You can stay on the outside of the fish. You can go on the jaw, you can go on this hard bony plate behind the eye, or even back here over the gill. Anywhere
Okay.
there's a hard, flat, bony surface,
Okay.
you scrape until you get silver or white skin on that sponge. Then once you've taken that skin sample, you just put the whole sponge into the vial.
Okay.
The vial has liquid inside that will preserve the sample that you just took. Fill out a simple data slip with where, time, date, and location of fishing, as close as a location as you're willing to give me.
Okay.
And then you can just drop off your samples at various local tackle shops throughout the Panhandle area, or you can mail them back to us at the Fish and Wildlife Research Institute directly.
Okay.
And then what we will do is, once we get this tarpon DNA samples back from anglers, we will then take that tissue on the sponge and extract the DNA.
Okay.
And then we're using DNA fingerprinting techniques to actually tag and track this individual fish as it gets recaptured again through time.
Okay, that's really cool. Do they need to measure them anything, like circumference or length or anything?
We do ask for them to estimate the size of the
Okay.
fish. You don't actually have to tape it. We don't need girth. You can do that if you're interested in estimating the weight of the tarpon or something yourself.
Okay, now tell us a little bit on the length and all. You're talking about that.
Sure, we don't ask anglers to actually have to measure it with a tape, but we do ask for an estimate of length, because one of the things that we're doing with the tarpon is it takes a fish a long time to mature. So if a tarpon is 4 feet long or smaller, it's probably still a juvenile.
No kidding?
Yeah.
A 4 foot one still
Yeah.
doing it? Wow.
So somewhere between 48 and 52 inches is when a tarpon actually matures and can spawn for the first time. So when we get these DNA samples back, we look at the length estimate, and if it's small, we call it a juvenile. And if it's over 48 inches, we're going to call it an adult. And then what we're going to do is we want to try and look at the different habitats that our juvenile tarpon live in. And then these larger, more migratory fish, we want to look at their movement patterns relative to spawning season and where do they overwinter.
Okay, where does the spawning take part in? Where do they spawn? Offshore?
It is an offshore spawning species. But we only know this because we've only collected very small, day-old larvae.
Okay.
The actual spawning event and any fertilized eggs have actually not yet been documented for tarpon.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It
With all
is.
the technology we have.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
wow.
Now there are some researchers in Louisiana and Mississippi who are getting closer to showing that they may actually spawn up here in the Panhandle.
That's cool. Cool stuff. All right, anything else we need to know about the mighty tarpon?
The mighty tarpon. We really need help from
Okay.
Panhandle, North Florida anglers.
Okay.
As you said, we've gotten a lot of DNA samples back from South Florida, Southwest Florida. So the challenge this year is for North Florida anglers to sample the DNA from the tarpon that they catch all summer and fall.
And I know you've had some been caught 2 or 3 times, have you? Have you all documented
Yes.
that kind of stuff? And
Yeah.
you follow them around and all that? I guess
Yeah,
that's fun.
we just completed running some sequences against our database, and we are now up to having 217 tarpon in the database that have been caught and sampled by anglers more than once.
Okay.
And we have, I think, about 3 or 4 tarpon that have actually been caught and sampled 3 times now.
Cool. Cool.
So you practice good catch and release fishing, and the tarpon will survive.
Okay, speaking of DNA now, those might be some of the dumber ones that have been caught 3 times. I don't know
Maybe
if we
they're
could
just hungry.
Those are the hungry ones. Okay. Well, Kathy, as always, thank you so much for that information. Thank you for what you do. That's fascinating work.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Folks, we're up here at Fish U Carter Track, Scott Lindsay and I, and we're trying to get to a fishing hole. Scott, how we gonna get our?
We're gonna have to put the truck on this side and pull it around.
Man, I don't know if we can move that. There've been limbs all in a row. Wait a minute, I'll give you a hand. Let me turn this camera off. All right, Scott. What pond we're gonna fish? What lake we fishing?
We're gonna go to the dry pond.
This is dry.
See how you have to, now this is what you gotta do. You gotta bring your boat up here.
Yeah, we brought our own water with us. We hit a strong storm. All right.
Boat sank before we got here.
All right, here's boats over here that they provide for you, but we're gonna use Scott's boat here. We got it by ourselves today, Scott.
Yeah, it ain't too crowded, is it?
Still lightning. All right, Scott hooked up on the first one.
Look at that.
Hey, that's a nice one. Ooh, that's a nice one.
Oh!
you, you lost him?
We won't eat him tonight.
Well, they can boil in the water. Ooh, look at that, baby. Nice one. Now we got that one in.
Is he 8 inches long?
I think he'll do. I don't like that thunder though.
Once it's thunder, it's done lightning. It's all over.
Now, folks, I just pulled this one in, but we got to throw him back because he's not quite 8 inches. Scott, you sure he ain't 8 inches?
I don't believe you.
Man, that's a shame. That's pretty much.
Step on him.
All right, we're gonna let him go. All right, folks, got a little rain out here, but we're moving on to another spot. About what horsepower we'll go on that, Scott?
2 hamburger horsepower
2 hamburgers?
or
got
1 gray mule.
You're sculling.
Scully.
Who taught you how to skull?
My daddy. So I could scull him around. I don't know what's going to happen to all these bass fish when these electric motors quit, because they'd have to quit fishing.
That's
So
true.
none of them know how to scull.
There ain't many of them skull anymore.
They don't know how.
All right, there he is.
Oh, Lord.
What you got there, Scott?
I got me some weeds. If I can get him out of there.
Your tango got him up in the weeds.
Him is still down there.
This is a hard one to get. There he is. Oh, that's pretty. Got a little bit of shell cracker in him, hasn't it? That's right.
He could probably crack a shell. He's big enough to do it.
Now this ain't Mulehead Lake, right?
No, sir.
We gotta tell this is not Mulehead Lake. This is on the Carter Track. Fish U Carter Track.
He ain't all that long.
I don't know. You threw that other one back now. We need to keep.
Well, this one here ain't 8 inches. That other ain't 8 inches. He sure ain't 8 inches.
Well, you gotta be 7.5.
That won't do it. 7.5 won't do it.
All right, Scott got a fly rod out. Just hit this fly right on top of the water back here by his lily pads. Oh, pretty.
I believe that and make the grade.
I think that one's long enough. That's a pretty one.
Beautiful fish.
Almost. Got him again.
Did you have it on it when
I didn't quite. I had it pointed that way. I was getting ready to turn it on. Yeah.
I have to get the gaff out.
Look at here. Don't let him get around the stump.
He'll knock that tree down.
Oh. There's another one. That's his twin brother.
Yeah, look how fat he is. These are some healthy fish. There'll be another one in there, dude. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Ain't that pretty?
That's beautiful.
Oh.
What you got there, buddy?
Oh.
You switched back to the reel, hadn't you?
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
That is a nice one. You go back to the little spinner.
Oh, Lordy mercy.
Pretty fish, pretty fish. What you got to say about that?
He's blind in one eye. That's why he hit it. He's laying there asleep.
Now, can you think of much else we'd rather be doing now?
I could like to be doing it closer to home where I could do it longer, but I can't think of nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, there's a hoss right there, buddy.
Big old hen, Brandon.
Look how big that's. Look how big he is now.
How big she is. That's a big old hen.
That's a pretty one.
That's the last one I'm going to keep.
I just hooked up on another one. He took you in the pad, didn't he?
There you go.
Oh, there he is. Pretty fish. Big fish. We don't catch anything but big ones.
We're trying to.
Well, I did catch a couple little ones a while ago.
We don't film little ones.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We just filmed the big one. It's absolutely beautiful.
He hit it on the outside of
You got a yellow fly?
Yellow marathon.
Yellow marathon. Right up there. No cypress tree, right? Watch him. He'll cast right up in there.
There. Not even getting in line on him. It may be a bass. Who knows?
You think it's a big one?
Look at it. It's got.
Ooh, what is that?
It's got to be a bass.
Wait for it. That little spinner going across there.
That was a brim. I'd have to put him on the wall. But it ain't.
Yeah. Nice little bass. That's our first bass.
Mm-hmm. Did you get my spinner? Only one in town. Well, if that had been a brim.
You got right on the lip, didn't you?
Fat, too.
Absolutely beautiful. We're on, this is Dry Lake?
Yeah, dry pond.
Dry Pond. And one other boat way over there.
That orange line is easy to see out there.
Yeah, that makes it easy. All right, we got another one right here. Is that a little bass?
That's a little bass.
Sure is. A bass. That did feel good.
I thought it was an old warmouth.
Yeah. We came up with a mouth like that. Oh, that's a pretty one.
Boy, he wanted it.
We done lost count, haven't we? All right, folks, we're headed back to landing. Get a little late. I want to get a picture of Scott over here. He's trolling and sculling.
The battery's about to run down on this paddle.
Well, listen, can you do two things at one time, troll and skull?
Yeah, trolling, schooling.
Well, it's been a beautiful afternoon of fishing.
If my phone would ring, I'd get a bite. Why don't you call me?
No, I ain't gonna call you now. It's getting late. Let's look in the ice chest. We kept a few. We threw most of them back. We kept some. Scott's gonna take some to a friend, and I'm gonna take some to a mama. But there's a couple of nice ones in there. That'd be some good eating. Scott's been a good trip, buddy.
It has been good. This is a good place to come fishing. They all need to come out here now. It's free. They do everything but bait your hook. I'm telling you.
And we caught them on crickets, fly,
spins,
and beetle spin.
Flies.
All right.
Everything.
We're wrapping it up from Dry Pond up here at Fitzhugh Carter Track for Panhandle Outdoors with Scott Lindsay. I'm Winston Chester.
Bye-bye.
All right, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed those two videos. We're going to do the Friday fishing forecast. If you would, just go online. I have it online by tonight. We just didn't have time to get those videos in. So, but we are going to do our drawing from Tarpon Rock Seafood, as always, every Friday. And we're going to see who's going to win. The first gift in here is going to be the $20 gift certificate from Tarpon Dock. And we're going to pull it out. That was two stuck together. And we're talking about a $20 gift certificate. It's going to be Tanos Khalil from Seagrove Beach. I remember Tanos won last year. Good job. It's $20. Put it on here, and this is, we're on May 23rd. $20, May 23rd. All right, Tanos Khalil from Seagrove Beach. Okay, and then the winner of the Big Red Snapper, okay, is going to be David Vest. David Vest wins. This is in May, and the Red Snapper. David Vest and Tanos Khalil are two winners of from Tarpon Rock Seafood. You enter anytime this year now to win these prizes. We're going to give away a nice rod and reel pretty soon. So, got to wrap it up, folks. You have a great weekend. Get outdoors and enjoy some of these great opportunities that we have in the Florida Panhandle. Today, sometime now, be sure and do something good for someone else. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.